Welcome to episode 3 of the Grumpy Old Gamer podcast. I am
Ooh.
Tim, and today, oh yes indeed, today we'll be discussing why Half-Life 2 is bigger than GTA 5. I'm joined here by the lovely Al. How are you doing, mate?
Is it though?
Oh,
I'm good. But
oh,
is it though?
oh. We'll see. Also by the beautiful Ian. How are you doing?
Oh, another day in paradise. How about yourself?
Well, I'm going to keep saying it, but I don't normally die, eh? Let's start off with Half-Life 2. What a game that was. Shall we discuss?
Hey, it was all right.
Oh,
I think Half-Life 2 was revolutionary. I mean, it was the first game that was really marketed on the heels of it being an accurate physics-based engine, where ragdoll physics, like that was the first time you would see that type of thing. First time you saw puzzles that required you to kind of think outside the box and, use actual physics and gravity and all sorts of things like that.
Yes.
oh, yeah, truly. The physics in like the Source engine in general was just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Game changing. Literally, metaphorically too.
Mhm.
The story was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Not
lie.
great.
Yeah,
Not great.
I didn't pay much attention to it. I didn't pay much attention to the story.
I couldn't tell you much about the story.
But you just said it was
I
great.
I said it was good.
Yeah, but I don't think I think Half-Life 2 was just more of a model for like Source as well. That actually sounds like a detriment, but like what they did with that game, absolute insanity. And Half-Life in general, when you think about it, for the FPS genre and what has kind of come past since then is absolutely ridiculous just by going off that engine. And I think Half-Life 2 really was the kind of like catalyst to really push physics-based kind of gameplay in FPSs into other games, and people paid attention.
I absolutely agree with you that Half-Life 2 is a great game. And I think it's a great story. And I think that the way that it was told, there was no cutscenes, everything was rendered in engine, I think was you said it was revolutionary. I would say it was evolutionary. I think that it was, or did you say the other way around? I can't remember.
Either way, I agree with you.
It was a huge step forward in gaming, just as the game itself. Let's look at the game itself. That's Half-Life 2 as a game. The physics engine was incredible. Gordon Freeman is a very smart protagonist. He doesn't speak. He is a lens through which the player experiences the story rather than a character in a game. So anybody who played Half-Life 2, they weren't playing as Gordon Freeman, they were playing as themselves, and Gordon Freeman was simply the vehicle that allowed them to experience that game. And I think that's not something which has been done before, or done very often. You tended to play as a character, who would wisecrack and tell jokes and all this kind of stuff. And so the decision to make him a silent protagonist was actually very smart on behalf of Valve, just in terms of player agency. A cracking game. One of my favorite games ever. And it was 2004? It was released, I think. Was it
Yeah,
2004?
November.
Yeah. So 21 years old. And it still holds up. I played it last year and it still holds up today. And I hate saying that. I hate that holds up phrase, but it still resonates today. You can put that against any other FPS, single player FPS, and Half-Life 2 is still an excellent example of first person shooter gaming.
And that's exactly it. I think a lot of people will say when they say like it stands up, still have like nostalgia goggles, but it legitimately does stand up. It's still like with the engine and everything that goes along with it, I'd still say it's one of the best out there. Like it really is. You see some games now and you think, well, this came out 21 years ago. And it kind of comes across like laziness. Like why can't you just do this? They were doing it so ahead of their time, And absolutely still beautiful personally.
It is. It's cinematic without you needing cinematic cutscenes. Just the game itself is cinematic.
I think it had an effect that we haven't seen lately since Baldur's Gate 3 is the last one, where it really shook up the gaming industry, where you had a product that was so well made that the entire industry just took notice of it and said, okay, how was this made so well? How can we recreate this success?
Yes, however, Baldur's Gate 3 pales into insignificance compared to the greatness that is Half-Life 2.
Debatable, but you're
It's
probably
not
right.
debatable. It isn't debatable. Admittedly, Baldur's Gate 3 is a great game, but as Tim is going to explain to us, the impact of Half-Life 2 is more than just this was a great game. Baldur's Gate 3 is a great game. Half-Life 2 is a great game, but in terms of the impact that it's had, Half-Life 2 far exceeds anything that we have ever seen before.
Agreed.
And thank you for that segue. That was absolutely perfect because
It was almost quite professional-like, wasn't it?
it was almost professional. Yes, that was absolutely perfect. But yeah, no, I was thinking like with Valve, Steam. Steam is the example. If it wasn't for the success of like Half-Life 2, I mean, it was going to be a successful game anyway. Going to be an absolute success, but we wouldn't be using Steam. And when that came out, it was necessary. It was necessary to play the game. And at the time, everybody hated it. Now look at us. Anyone on the PC, if you don't have Steam, like, what are you doing? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
You're right, but I think before we move onto Steam as a digital platform, I think it's important to look at the framework that Half-Life 2 was built on, because the source engine itself, which the game was built on, was released free for modders to be able to utilize. So it's kicked off this entire modding scene. And if you think of the games that started as Half-Life 2 mods,
Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike.
Yeah, well, that's original Half-Life, but still, it's the legacy of it. Gary's mod is a prime example, straight from Half-Life 2. That was a complete piss take of a game. But look at it now. Like, that was just a mod to play around with just the physics engine, and they did it.
Ian, you've got kids. Have you seen Skibidi Toilet?
Oh God.
They're not that young, so I haven't seen that, but I have heard of the incredible cultural effect it's had on us all.
It's Gary's mod, which is probably just as old as Half-Life 2, or maybe a little bit younger, but it's still culturally relevant today. There's content creators that have built entire careers on Gary's mod, and they would not be able to do that if it hadn't have been for Half-Life 2 and the source engine.
I think that the other, besides Gary's mod, there's also the Black Mesa Half-Life 2 VR. Valve really, really embraced modding.
And they always have done, which is quite a trait for a company like that, considering how big they are. But going back to that Skibidi whatever, like, I've seen it, and I regret every minute I've seen of it. But Gary's mod filled a niche before Minecraft. Like, when you were just playing it, it filled that niche, and that's quite something. It really is quite something.
Yeah, I mean, one of my absolute favorite games is Left 4 Dead, and we are going to play Left 4 Dead.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to bring in somebody from the outside to play Left 4 Dead. And we may even live stream it on our Twitch platform, and we may even post some of it on our YouTube channel as well, which will be me mainly getting killed a lot. But without Half-Life 2, without the source engine, you would not have had the Left 4 Dead series. You would not have, and if you think what that spawned as well, Dead Island, it spawned, Back 4 Blood is from the same stable. Portal, Team Fortress. These are all games which never would have existed without Half-Life 2 first setting that groundwork.
Not to the capacity that they are today. Just going back on that, actually, and this is once again Half-Life 1. I know we're talking about Half-Life 2, but a lot of them, apart from Gary's mod, actually came from Half-Life, and then they evolved from Half-Life 2 with the source engine. And I mean, they're still being played by millions today. It's quite something.
I think there's one thing from Half-Life 2 that we haven't brought up yet, and it's kind of a crime. And that's the gravity gun. The gravity gun, for those who don't know, is basically a gun that can pick up any object and then blast it off at really high speeds. And it is the most fun thing that's ever existed, ever.
Who doesn't know about you say there, for those who don't know, if you do not know what the gravity gun is, then you have permission to just stop listening to this right now.
Agreed.
I've been hanging out with my kids too much.
The gravity gun could be considered one of the most iconic weapons in video gaming.
Yeah, right. And it made it so that you could have fun playing the game without even playing the game, like not doing any of the actual objectives, but just messing around the gravity gun and like throwing a trash can in the air and catching it and throwing it up again and catching it. Like you could just entertain yourself for hours. I think it was one of the first games that I played where I discovered that you could play the game in other ways like that.
And like Ravenholm, which I think was one of the scariest levels in a game, getting the gravity gun, getting the circular saw blades, and lining up zombies, and then just
So
killing them all.
satisfying.
It was beautiful.
Absolutely.
Absolutely beautiful.
It was a glorious level design. Some of the best that we've ever seen.
It's actually taught in schools. In modern gaming schools, like they look at Half-Life 2 as a level design showcase.
Yeah, I can completely see that. Ravenholm is like the perfect example of just really mucking around the physics. It's like, hey, here you go. Here you go. This is what can be done. One of my it wasn't actually from Ravenholm. I love the saws. They were absolutely fantastic. But the thing that got me with Half-Life 2, first time playing it, was the water physics. Absolutely beautiful. Everything seemed to work. And it was like, I'd never seen anything like that in a game before.
And excuse the pun, but it was the immersion, and I don't mean in water.
God.
You know, I'm sorry, we wouldn't be a Grumpy Old Gamer podcast without really shitty puns.
Yeah, valid.
Do you remember ever seeing a loading screen in Half-Life 2? If you played the campaign, if you played through from start to end, do you ever remember seeing a loading screen? And you're looking very puzzled, but the answer is no, because there wasn't any. Like in terms of the level, I think there was a break between levels, but the levels were huge. They were massive compared to games at the time. When you move through the different sections, it was seamless the way it moved through, and that is as a result of the Source engine.
The reason I was looking a bit puzzled is because the only time I remember one was loading into the game, and that was it.
Because it moved forward. There's no cutscenes. Half-Life 2 worked on the basis of show, not tell. If you think about the overarching story, the Combine and the 7-hour war and how they took over the Earth, they didn't say, this is the setting, this is the Combine, this is how everything. It didn't give you any justification for playing the game through cutscenes or through dialogue, because Gordon Freeman didn't speak. It showed you what the setting was. It showed you what the game was, rather than saying, do you know what? Gamers are stupid. We need to tell them why they are doing this. We speak very highly of Half-Life 2, and of course we do, because it is iconic. That's never been done before. Normally you get a cutscene. This is the game, and you are so-and-so, and this is your mission. Half-Life 2 didn't do that. It didn't need to.
Exactly. I think that's why a lot of people, not only just because the game was fantastic, just have fond memories of it. Because, well, it's relevant, but with GTA, it's very character driven. Whereas with that, you make your own kind of memories. I don't care what happened, but I do remember sawing people in two with my lovely gravity gun. I remember going swimming for the first time, and I remember like the grenades when they went underwater and the sound effects. But it didn't matter. I didn't say anything. Everything evolved around you, and you were just, well, you're just Gordon Freeman, weren't you? That was it.
Something I'd like you to tell us about, Tim, because I think you know about it more than me, is the orange box.
Yes, the orange box was, I think it was like the catalyst where it brought like what was, in my eyes, the peak of PC gaming at the time to consoles. And I remember my friends who were more primarily like console based finally picking it up, and it blew their minds. It blew their minds. They were like, this is what you guys have been playing this entire time? And we've been missing out on it type thing? Yeah, because of course it came with all the episodes of Half-Life 2, Team Fortress when he still had to pay for it. I don't think it came with Counter-Strike. I might be mistaken there, but I don't think it did.
Portal, right?
It came with Portal,
yes, it came with Portal. And because of that, Portal 2 was a massive success on every platform. Valve just absolutely nailed it out of the park.
But this was really the catalyst for Steam. And I know that Steam launched in 2003, Half-Life 2 launched in 2004, but you could buy Half-Life 2 on disc, but you had to launch it via Steam. So, if we go back in the midst of time to 4 weeks ago, where we said gaming is shit now, right? And we lamented DRM and the fact that you had to always be online and all this kind of stuff. Well, we're now championing Steam, and that was really the system that started this whole DRM business. So are we not being a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for?
Hypocritical.
Yes, see, it's late. I'm tired. We're being hypocritical
Yes.
by saying DRM's terrible, but Steam that started DRM with Half-Life 2 is great. So it started 2003. Steam launched in 2000. Sorry, Half-Life 2 launched in November 2004, but the Orange Box was 2007, and that was really the catalyst for Steam launch. It was full steam ahead from that moment onwards,
Very funny
because
again.
Half-Life 2 Episode 2 was an exclusive Steam game. You got it on the Orange Box, but you could not get it anywhere else other than on Steam.
You get the other ones without having Steam?
Well, you could buy Half-Life 2 on disc.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, now I got you. Yeah.
But if you wanted to experience the entire Half-Life 2 saga, you had to have Steam. And it was controversial. It was really criticized at the time by a lot of the people. I have to be online all the time. I've got to go onto the internet in order to do this. And now we just accept that. We criticized it 4 weeks ago, but now we just accept that as it's necessary. But this was really the start of this. It was a huge gamble by Steam, because they rubbed people up the wrong way. The game was like, I want to be able to buy a game. We ordered CD-ROMs. My PC doesn't have a CD-ROM anymore. We ordered CD-ROMs, and you load a disc and all this kind of stuff. So it was a massive gamble by them, but it's really paid off. What impact has Steam had on PC gaming?
Well, that's it. If you're a PC gamer and you don't have Steam, like you're doing something silly. Like, doesn't it account for like 70% of like sales just on PC in general? It accounts for like, trying to think of a polite way of putting it, but basically everything. And there's no other like platforms or competitors who have done any better. And it's not out of lack of trying, but why bother getting a game on that platform when I can just get it on Steam?
Yeah. I mean, Steam is the daddy of digital download platforms. I mean,
Yes.
what do we have? We have Epic, and I think that we all use Epic for the free games that they give out every week. But I've never bought anything on Epic, and I've never. And it isn't a case of out of principle. It's a case of I know that I log onto Steam and all of my games are there. And if I've got to switch between things because, have I got that game on this platform or that platform? It becomes a bit of a pain in the ass.
It does.
So if I see something on Epic, I think I'd really like to try that, I'll buy it on Steam instead. So I use Epic for the free games, and I think that's probably what we all do. Yeah, and I think it's what a lot of people do. And the only other one I use is GOG.com, which is, they stole our name.
I know, the audacity.
GOG.com. Yeah, I use their launcher because I like to buy old games and I get them on GOG. But Steam really revolutionized the digital download situation. If you're a console gamer, if you're a PlayStation, you buy your games from the PlayStation Store. They have a monopoly. If you're an Xbox game, you buy them. Is on Xbox Live? I don't have a
Xbox Marketplace, I think it is now.
Xbox Marketplace. So they have a monopoly. If you're a PC gamer, you have access to everything. So for them to account for 70 or 75% of the entire games market on what is essentially a free platform, PC gaming, is incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
It's billions. It's absolute billions. And what's it? They take, isn't it like 30% cuts for every sale?
They do. Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
which seems completely fair. It's nice just to have it on one thing. Done. Hey, I've got that game. Perfect.
Mhm.
That's it.
Ian, tell me about your library of shame.
Oh no.
Library of Shame. Well, I do have kids, so I let them, download the odd game. So I have like random carnival game or something. Like, when the hell did I download this? Oh, it's the kids. It's the kids. Okay.
Do you not have like a list of games that you bought on sale? I'll play that and then never did.
Oh, that of course, yes. I bought the Fallout package that came with like Fallout 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them. Because I've only played Fallout 3 and 4, but in New Vegas. But I got all of those. I think that's the biggest one so far. I'm still kind of fresh on the gaming market.
I'm assuming it's going to be aimed at me in a minute.
Yeah, go on. Tell us.
Yeah, I'm currently scrolling through. Mate. There's a lot to scroll through. I can definitely say The Sims. Not the expansions. We went over that last time. A lot of money.
$1,484.02.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Chump change, right?
I wish.
Chump change if you gave Newell.
Yeah, really. Lots of like off-brand racing games. If I'm going to be honest, I can't name a lot of them, but a lot of off-brand or like off-brand tycoon games because I miss like the old school tycoon games and never played any of them.
I mean, I have in excess of 200 games on Steam, and I would say I've probably played, to any extent, maybe 30 or 40 of them.
Probably got about 600. I think I've played maybe 50 of them, I'd say.
Yeah, but I think that will really resonate with our audience. And I think that you'll find that people listening to this who are PC gamers will say, yeah, that makes sense, guys, because I'm exactly the same. The Steam sale comes along and you buy loads of games and you never play them.
So I think I brought a lot of these games is because I actually owned them before, but I just want them on Steam, going back to what I was saying. And when I was playing on console, I missed some of those games. So if I see it on the sale, as you said, I will get it on Steam just because I know I have it on Steam, which is such a silly thing to say, but at least you know you have it, you know?
I mean, I would say that the reason why my PC doesn't have a disk drive is because of Steam. I would say the
Yes.
reason why, and this is crucial to console gamers, the reason why you can buy an Xbox Series S without a disk drive and you can buy the PlayStation Digital only is because of Steam.
I would agree
I
with that.
Because
Yeah.
not because you use Steam to buy those games, but because Sony and Microsoft were like, well, hey, if they're doing it over there, we can do that as well. So Steam is responsible for launching or for giving companies the catalyst to launch their own digital download platforms. And if it hadn't have been, we're going back to the beginning, if it hadn't have been for Half-Life 2 being so successful and being so linked to Steam, you would not have, and follow my logic here, you would not have the Xbox marketplace.
Oh, this could be for another episode. I can see going on with this. Let's so GTA 5.
Well, I was actually going to say, can you attribute anything of that magnitude to GTA?
Well, I mean, a lot of the sales, obviously, online has just become a masterclass in itself. Before, everybody was buying GTA games mainly for like the single player, but GTA Online has become like its own entity. People just buy the game for the sake of playing the online, and what's it like, $8 billion, something ridiculous like that, just from that, a game. So yeah, you could attribute that, and ironically, it's also sold on Steam. I'm just saying.
You know what GTA has that Half-Life 2 doesn't have? Cutscenes. A lot of them. Most of them are like you're watching a movie and then now you're playing a game. You're watching a movie, now you're playing a game. Whereas Half-Life 2, I feel like you're in a roller coaster in the movie.
A lot of people would say it's unfair to compare the two because GTA is an open world crime simulator where you can drive your car, pick up a prostitute, take it to a secluded place, do the deed in the back of your car, pay her, she gets out the car, and then you smash her over with your baseball bat and you take your money back. You can't do that in Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2 is, to a degree, an on-rail shooter. You must progress through this level. You must get to the end of this level before you can move on to the next one. So they're very different games. I think it's important that we do not take away from GTA the success that it's had, but also the cultural impact it's had.
I wholeheartedly agree. It's a completely different experience. As Ian said, yeah, it's more of a cinematic. It is watching a film, and it's got film budgets. It's completely different.
I will say that Half-Life 2 is more something that you study in design schools, and GTA That's more something that's you see mimicked. Like everybody and their brother was ripping off GTA in like the late 2000s. You had Saints Row, Crackdown.
But can you not say the same thing about Half-Life 2? If you look at all of the FPS games that came out shortly after.
Like Killzone, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
You know, first-person shooters dominate gaming. In the last episode, we talked about Battlefield 6, which Tim's really looking forward to. It's a first-person shooter. Did Half-Life 2 not popularize FPS games? I know they existed before because they existed as far back as Return to Castle Wolfenstein, which I played on a very old boxy IBM computer on floppy disk. So I know they existed before, but they were never done to the level and the scale and the quality that they were done with Half-Life 2.
I think Half-Life 2, you're selling and buying the story versus GTA, what you're getting is just the chaos. Like you can go around and pick up that hooker. You can do all these crazy things. You have the open world freedom to basically do whatever you want. Versus Half-Life 2 is more of you can be who you want to a degree, but you're still Gordon Freeman at the end of the day.
This is subjective. This is just me personally, but I brought the GTA games actually for the story. I used to love just going around doing the story, listening to the radio, and like just some Laszlo talking on Chatterbox, like absolutely all over the place. I absolutely adored that.
What's your favorite GTA game?
Vice City, mate. Vice City.
Same.
Yeah. Mine's San Andreas.
Great game. Both of them. Great games.
But I think that trilogy of GTA 3, I mean, I remember playing GTA 3 maybe on the original PlayStation, or was it on the PlayStation 2?
The PS2, mate. PS2.
PS2, and I think all three were on the PS2, weren't they? You could play San Andreas on the PS2 as well. I remember playing GTA 3 and thinking, "Wow, this is just incredible." I mean, and I remember playing the original Grand Theft Auto on the top-down view, on a demo disc, and just being blown away by the freedom it gave you to just go and just mow down lines of Hare Krishnas and just crash cars and kill random people in the street. And so I remember playing the original, but GTA 3 just took that concept and made it into what we've seen with GTA 5 and what we're going to see with GTA 6.
Can I just say, I've only just thought about this. Half-Life 2 and GTA 3 are quite similar. They're both groundbreaking with a silent protagonist. I'm just saying. Very different games, but there's similarities to an extent.
He wasn't silent in the cutscenes, was he?
He didn't say a thing, mate.
Did he not?
No. Nope.
I don't know. I could be wrong on that one. I think he was voiced, but I could be wrong.
Like GTA 3, it's completely silent. Vice City was the first one they actually had a voice protagonist.
Answers in the comments below, guys.
Yes, yeah, please prove us wrong.
Well, prove one of us wrong. Or
Pretty sure I'm right.
What's funny, Half-Life 2 and San Andreas actually came out the same year in 2004. I'm pretty sure that San Andreas probably sold more copies, but Half-Life 2 is much better reviews.
Yeah, it probably did. It probably did sell more because this is not a situation where we're saying that Half-Life 2 is a better game. It is, but we're not saying it's a better game than the GTA games. I guess what we're arguing for is the understanding that in terms of its impact on gaming, Half-Life 2 is a bigger influence than what GTA is.
I would agree.
Yeah, I would agree. In long term, especially. Yeah.
And of course, there'll be people out there watching this who don't like Half-Life 2 and love GTA, and they'll say, well, the numbers don't lie. The numbers do not lie. 185 million copies of GTA 5 were sold. Rockstar made $8 billion from that. And I think at the high end, the estimate for sales of Half-Life 2 are 20 million. So it pales into insignificance when you look at the numbers involved. And people would argue, well, the metrics are there. The numbers don't lie. GTA series or GTA 5 or whatever is clearly a bigger game than Half-Life 2 because more people bought it. But we think of this in terms of the McDonald's fallacy. How many hamburgers does McDonald's sell daily? Millions, maybe? Just because loads of people buy it, just because it's popular, doesn't mean that it is influential.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily at all. Like you're completely right. Numbers they don't lie, but there's legacy too. There's absolute legacy, and with both, they're both culturally like impactful franchises. I'd probably say GTA maybe even more, but like in the long term, Half Life I'd say would have more of a well, literally a long term effect on the FPS genre in general.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think that Half-Life 2 is culturally impactful.
Okay,
Not
yeah.
like not like GTA is in terms of you look. I mean, I remember when the first game came out, and it was in the press, man. It was full page adverts condemning this game. Yeah, and that was Grand Theft Auto, the first one before we got into the three Vice City and San Andreas trilogy, before we got GTA 4 and before we got GTA 5, which has been probably the most successful game of all time in terms of the amount of money that it's made. Half-Life 2 doesn't have the cultural impact that GTA has, and I think that that's fair to say, not just in terms of sales and numbers, but in terms of what you see out there. But in terms of the impact on the industry, the Grand Theft Auto series is nothing compared to Half-Life 2.
I think it comes down to cultural impact versus artistic influence. I think that Half Life 2 had a lot of influence on a lot of the art that you consume nowadays. But I think at the time, GTA is just such a huge cultural impact.
I think that's right. Actually, thinking about it, I did word that wrong, but you completely nailed it, Al. For the industry, Half Life just slaughtered it. Absolutely slaughtered it. And there's been so much from that game. I probably should have looked into this a little bit more before we were doing this. But like, how many games run on the Source engine?
I don't know, and the thing is, probably nobody knows because all of those games that were mods that are now multi-million selling titles as well. So the the DNA of Half-Life 2 is in everything from Battlefield 6 to the game that you buy on Xbox Marketplace via digital download. The DNA of Half-Life 2 is in everything, and not just because it's the Source engine or it's an FPS, but because it changed the way that the industry and the public approached gaming. And that's where the legacy comes in. You say artistics and all this kind of stuff, and yeah, fair enough, but this is more about the infrastructure behind how gaming is delivered now to the public. It's done completely differently, and that legacy belongs to Half-Life 2.
You're completely right. We wouldn't be playing FPSs the way that we are now if it wasn't for games like Half Life 2. It did change. It changed the genre.
We wouldn't be playing any games the way we're playing them now if it wasn't for Half-Life 2.
Valid. Valid. Actually, yeah, I can't disagree.
Just the ragdoll physics.
But I don't just mean in terms of the way the game is played. I mean the way that we are delivered games. If you want to, as a PC gamer, 75% of PC games are sold via Steam. If Tim and I want to, and this is a really not classy hint, if we want to continue our Space Marine 2 co-op campaign, we have to do it via the Steam storefront. We go into Steam, you present it with a storefront, you present with a pop-up to say these are the games which are on sale, these are things that might appeal to you. It's algorithmic in how it presents it. These are the games that we know that you play. You might like this one before we can go and play that game. And we accept that as part of our gaming life.
That's completely valid. I'm just going to say it straight out of the box. We're playing tomorrow. But yes, exactly. First thing when a computer like boots up, Steam. You want to get your updates done straight away. And then you see all the sales that go along with that. On that side, absolutely game changing, pun intended, because it is.
Okay, there's one thing I want to talk about, and that is Half-Life 3.
Oh,
Oh God.
Are we ever going to see Half-Life 3?
Like you and I? No. Our children? Maybe. Grandchildren? 50-50.
but if that's the case, would they even be interested in Half Life 3? Just being honest.
Probably not, but I mean, they've waited longer.
What's the point of Valve doing it? They're printing money just by doing nothing. Like the last Half-Life game we had was that Alex game, that VR game, which wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Like I've only played it through like a non-VR mod, but that's the closest we've got to Half-Life 3, and that was technically Half-Life 1.5.
Yeah, that was 5 years ago, I think.
Yes, it was, but GTA was even further than that, man.
Yes, it was. Yes,
People might hate me for saying this, but I don't think we will ever see Half-Life 3.
I don't think we will.
I don't think we will either.
And you just said that your children will be playing Half-Life 3.
If I raised them right.
You've changed your mind? Don't be so easily led, man. You know, hey, I've got these really special pills. Do you want to try them as well?
Hell yeah, I do.
Obvious.
Hell yeah, brother.
And I'll tell you the reason why. So Tim and I were talking about this before we came on to record it, and I found a really interesting way of doing it. We'll either call it the Steam paradox, or we'll call it Catch Half-Life 2. Like Catch 22, but Catch Half-Life 2. Okay.
Which is a very good one. I was proud of you, mate.
Steam, Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2 was a great seller, okay? But Steam doesn't make its money from, I apologize, Valve doesn't make its money from Valve games. Valve makes its money by taking 30% of every single game that is sold. And the reason it is a paradox, the reason it's a catch-22 situation is because every single time that we use Steam to buy a game from somebody else, we're putting money into Valve's pockets. At what point, if you're Gabe Newell, if you're the owner of Valve, at what point do you say, do you know what, we're going to risk our legacy, we're going to risk our game creating legacy by taking a risk on making Half-Life 3 when we don't need to, because every single person who makes a game that for the PC, which is sold through our digital download platform, and that's 75% of the PC gaming audience. Why do we need to make Half-Life 3 from a commercial business perspective?
I think that's kind of like the reason they made Half-Life 2. If they have technological advances that they have created that they can show off, if they have the necessary story and the narrative that needs to be told, I think then there's room for it. But if either of those things is lacking, then I think we're not going to see it.
Well, isn't that exactly what they did with Half-Life Alex? When VR was like really kicking off, that was their advanced type thing. They didn't want to continue with like Gordon Freeman. They just wanted to kind of make a game where they could show off VR with. I think it's actually around about the time that the Source 2 engine came out, and they were using that to showcase.
And what you said there, Ian, is if they have the technology that they want to show off, then maybe they'll make Half-Life 3. But that's not what I asked. I asked commercially, if you ran Valve, if you think the amount of money, and we discussed it last episode 2 weeks ago when we did the episode on games versus movies, essentially, from the console to the screen and vice versa, and we looked at 600 million is the kind of amount of money you're looking at to make GTA 5 or Red Dead Redemption or whatever. I don't know how much GTA 6 has cost to make, but if you're going to make something which is going to compete, then you're going to have to look at that level of investment. On what planet is it commercially viable for a company that is taking 30% of every single game that is sold, or 75% of games that are sold? On what planet is it commercially viable for them to invest $600 million in making a game that could fail and could undo the legacy that we have for Half-Life 2?
I'm just going to say, what I've heard, the rumor mill, so far GTA 6, 2 billion. I'm just saying, 2 billion. And you've got Steam, which is, I don't want to know how much they're making a day. What's the point? What's the point? You're printing money. Printing money just by being the best distributor.
Hopefully they get bored and decide they want to do it. Tired of counting money all day.
I mean, I'd never get bored of that, to be honest, mate. What an awful luxury to have. But yes, I guess it does kind of like lose the enthusiasm. I mean,
so this is figures hot off the press.
Oh God.
So in 2024, Steam's annual revenue was estimated to be 10.8 billion.
Oof.
So they're making $11 billion a year without making games. Are you going to take 20% of your annual revenue to make Half-Life 3, which might not work when you don't need to? So it's this paradox. It's this catch Half-Life 20 catch Half-Life 2. That's the word, isn't it?
Yes.
The more we use Steam, the more success that Steam has, the less likely we are to see Half-Life 3.
I think as well, it's got to such a point. Everyone's going to have such massive anticipation for Half-Life 3. If there even is like an inkling of announcements, which people have been looking through like data mining for God knows how many years and saying, oh, there's something in Port 2, there was something in Portal, blah, blah, blah. There's so much hype behind something that I think they've got to the point where it might just, unless it is literally groundbreaking, which I can't see these days, unfortunately, it has to be the best thing ever made, to put it bluntly.
It does. And I think that the legacy or nostalgia buys into this. The esteem that Half-Life 2 is held in. If Half-Life 3 was ever made, and I don't think it ever will be, but if it was ever made and it was shit, people would refuse to accept that it was shit. It's the
Yes.
same way that people who are waiting for GTA 6, and I'm sure it's going to be the most successful game ever. You look at the numbers on the trailer. I think it's the most watched YouTube video when the trailer released. You know, it's huge. Even if GTA 6 is terrible, the people who have invested so much in GTA as part of their life are not going to accept that it is.
I think that's completely valid as well. You're right about the GTA trailer. Didn't it break like the record of like YouTube most watched? It was like 24 hours or something absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much hype behind that, which would
Mm-hmm.
definitely be the case for like Half-Life 3. I can see GTA 6 living up to the hype. I could actually see that happening. Half-Life, on the other hand, I hate to say it, I'm not sure could, because they've kind of done it all already.
And they're very different companies.
Yes.
Rockstar and Valve are very different companies. Rockstar is a game developer. Their business is around making games and releasing games and selling games. Valve is a digital distributor that once upon a time made games. Their business model is selling other people's games. When GTA 6 comes onto the PC, it will be available via Steam.
Yes.
And Valve will take 30% of every single copy of GTA 6 which is sold. Why do they need to make anything when they're going to take a third of Rockstar's revenue for all PC sales of GTA 6?
I'll tell you why they're going to make it. Because I want it. Damn it.
Well, yeah.
That
We all
and
do.
they have no reason not to. Honestly, because if it comes out and it's a complete bomb, it's not like it's going to tank their game sales. And if it comes out and it's great, then it's even makes the franchise even more prestigious.
Yeah, I hear you, and I agree with what you're saying. If it comes out and it tanks, then it doesn't matter. They've still got that revenue. But if you're looking at a $2 billion price tag to develop it, if you're looking at what GTA 6's cost, that's $2 billion down the toilet if it's shit.
Exactly. What I was going to say to that is, I think it would also tarnish a beautiful legacy, and I don't think people want that either.
It would.
That's all I have to say. I think it would tarnish a beautiful legacy if it's absolutely awful. Hey, if it's the best thing ever made, fantastic. But if it's slightly below, what people expect, nah, done.
And let's talk about that legacy for a moment, because have you looked at what the best games ever are? And we're using Metacritic as the platform for this. The best PC games of all time, right? And I'm going to go through them and shout up if you see a Half-Life 2 influence, and shout up if you see a GTA influence. Okay.
Mhm.
So Disco Elysium, surprisingly, is the highest rated game on Metacritic at 97%.
It was a
So
good game.
we'll ignore that one, and we'll come to the next one. The
Sure.
second highest rated game, and remember, shout up if it's GTA or Half-Life 2. The second highest rated game on Metacritic is Half-Life 2.
Of course. Oh,
I think
shout
that one's
out. Sorry.
GTA, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. The third The third game on Metacritic is GTA 5.
Haven't seen that.
Oh,
Then you've got Baldur's Gate 3.
Cool.
Then you've got the Orange Box.
Oh, so many Half-Life influences.
Mhm. Then you've got Half-Life.
Oh, I mean, the original, the OG.
And then you have BioShock, which is
That's influenced by Half-Life, mate.
first-person shooter influenced by Half-Life. Baldur's Gate 2
Great game, but anomaly.
came out in 2000, so not influenced by either of them, I guess. Persona 5 RPG. And then at number 10, Portal 2.
well, seems like Half-Life dominates.
The cake is a lie.
Yeah. hmm Even on the most basic level, in the top 10, you've got Half-Life 2, you've got the Orange Box, you've got Half-Life, you've got BioShock, and you've got Portal. So 5 of the top 10 games are in some way linked to Half-Life 2.
Yes.
And one of them is GTA. So that is a legacy that you can't fuck with. And that's a legacy that Valve do not want to lose. And
we can fucking swear now.
You can swear as much as you like.
Well, they fucking nailed it. Done.
Because we'll just mute you. It's fine. So
just.
Not only would Valve risk losing $2 billion when it came to developing the game, but they would also tarnish their legacy. And that's something which I guess money can't buy.
BioShock. That was the one that we've had these discussions for, just like random brands, probably playing Space Marine. But yeah, BioShock, massively influenced by Half-Life. Not only just like FPS wise, but like kind of like aesthetically, like neo-dystopian kind of like feel type thing. Very Half-Life influenced.
And can I say for the record that I hope that we're not going by $2 billion being the standard for how much it costs to make games nowadays. That can't be the standard.
Oh, you're absolutely right, and I'm not. I mean, somebody, I think it was Tim that mentioned it cost $2 billion to make GTA 6, and I guess the only reason we mentioned $2 billion is because we're kind of suggesting or implying that Half-Life 3 would have to be up there in order to compete, in order to build on the legacy that exists. I'm not saying it would cost that amount, but even if it was $1 billion,
it very well could be.
That's all we've got time for, everyone. Thanks very much for listening to the podcast. If you're listening at home, please subscribe to the podcast. If you're watching at home, a like, a subscribe, a comment really helps get the grumpy old gamer message out there. It really does. Please visit gog.fm to find all the ways to get in touch. Come and chat to us on Discord. Tell us if you think we're right, wrong, great, or we suck. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks very much, and we will see you next time. We'll be taking a trip down memory lane and talking about couch co-op and LAN pies. And believe you me, we have a lot to say about that. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.